I would say attending the University of YouTube has really helped because the the
You know what? We
fact,
need a certificate at this point because, yeah.
yeah, honestly, YouTube can teach you so many things. Like it's honestly, it's unlimited. 'Cause I literally started off learning things through YouTube. I didn't go to school to learn photography or videography. Like I went to school more for event and media production. So that's like planning an event and the things you need for an event. For example, you may need like a floor plan. You need to go to site visit. YouTube has massively helped me.
Okay, hey fam, welcome to Motari Media. Long time, no guest. We're kicking off 2025 with Favour Oyinloye of Olu Vision Media. Your very first guest of the year, so talk about being special.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on your channel today, honestly.
I'm so glad to have you here, but let's start very light. How are you today and how was your day?
Today was a pretty good day, pretty chill day. Edited one or two videos for work. Apart from that, and nothing.
So you were
So it's
mostly
pretty chill.
indoors, like you didn't go out
Yeah.
to enjoy the
I
sun.
worked from home today. I realized that it's about 24 degrees. So it's like, it's looking good outside. It's looking
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel weird that I have a sweater on. We probably shouldn't have told them
Mhm.
what the temperature is outside. But I needed some color in my video, you get.
Fair.
But anyways,
Yeah.
no, I love that for you. My day was my 9 to 5 was interesting. So let's
Mhm.
say this is the highlight of my day for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. But anyways, official welcome to Motari Media. And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for accepting to chat today. I believe that this will probably be the first time that we're getting to speak in detail, even though we've seen each other in
Yeah.
different multiple spaces in Toronto.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I love about Motari Media. I get to meet wonderful people like you doing cool stuff. So to
Mhm.
get us started, I'm just going to give you, like a second to introduce yourself to the Motari Media community. But before that, I want to share a story.
Okay.
Okay, so I attended this random event in Toronto in February. It's called Rhythm and Roots. You were not there. Don't try to think
Okay.
about it. It's
Okay.
okay. But anyways, I got chatting with a content creator that I met there. I don't know if you know her. You probably know her, Tanto Lua. Tanto.
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
Tanto.
so it was just like a very random conversation with my friends Debs and me. I've never
Mhm.
met her before. None of us had. And we just got to like chatting, regular like banter. It was like a networking style event as well. And I don't even know how you came up, but she spoke so highly of you. And that's why I left that comment on one of your videos where I was like, oh, I just
Uh-huh.
attended an event and someone spoke so highly of you. And
Mhm.
I think that, that speaks to quality work that you're doing. And for me, it was just that what are the chances that at this one random event your name will come up? And so with that preface, I want to give you the chance to introduce yourself to our community and gas yourself up, please.
Thank you. So hi everybody. My name is Favour Oyinloye. Actually, my name is Olu Thomason Favour Oyinloye. Most people call me Olu or Favour. I'm a content producer, photographer, videographer, sometimes graphic designer. I'm in the Christian creative workspace and also in the sports creative workspace here in Toronto. Yeah, I'm pretty much surrounded around a lot of creatives like day by day. I'm a big fan of football. Manchester United is my team. Unfortunately, we're going through some tough time, but we're getting there. I'm most importantly, I'm a child of God.
I love that. I love that. I love how you ended. Most importantly, I'm a
Yeah.
child of God. That's awesome. Okay, so I think this is a really good way to get into our conversation even more. So, can you walk us through your background, where you grew up? I mean, I know a little bit about that, but I want to hear it in like full detail, your school
Hmm.
experience, and
Yeah.
when I say your immigration journey, I don't mean so much in detail, but it's
Hmm.
like Motari Media is specifically geared towards immigrant small business owners. And so I like to sort of hear a little bit about like how you came to Canada, why you chose to
Yeah.
come to Canada. So yeah.
Okay, so I was born in Nigeria. I left at the age of 6, then moved to the beautiful island called Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago specifically because it's a twin island. Lived there for about 12 years, so since 2010. Growing up there was honestly amazing because it's such a small island. So like the population of Tobago specifically was about 6K.
Yeah.
So you pretty much knew everybody. Growing up there was pretty fun, pretty quiet. There was not too much chaos living in the Caribbean. The weather was nice, it was sunny all day. In 2022, yeah, that's when I moved to Canada for school. I had a couple options. I wanted to either go to the US or go to Canada, mainly because of my career choice. I wanted to work more in the sports industry, and I knew that the Canadian system, also the United States system for sports in college was really good. Especially here in Toronto, there is about, if I'm going to say 4 teams, professional and also college teams who are in the sports industry. So I was battling between those 2 options, but eventually I chose Canada, Toronto specifically, actually. So that's pretty much how I started from Nigeria to Tobago, and now I'm here in Canada.
So why did you want to, I mean, this is not related, but like, why did you want to work specifically in sports?
Honestly, since I've started, I've just pretty much loves football or sports in general.
So when you say football, do you mean soccer or like actual?
I mean soccer. So
okay,
yeah,
we have to clarify. Yes.
So I also ran track and field, played football in primary school and high school. So that's where I probably started the love for it. And also I just loved capturing moments. Like when you mix both capturing moments and sports, it makes sense to do sports videography or photography. So yeah, that's it.
That's fair. I like that. And that makes so much sense. And I don't know, perhaps it's maybe because I'm from PEI, but I find that I don't really know a lot of people like in my space or like people that I'm aware of that are into like videography and photography, like specifically for sports. It's mostly like, you know, maybe business owners, entrepreneurship, or just like lifestyle and portraits. But I think like having that niche of sports photography, and actually that's even how I came to realize that that's what you do, because I would see like your photos of like people on the field or like video, and I'm like, this is a very interesting thing that I've never really seen before, especially kind of like I said, like someone in my space. So I thought that was a really nice niche, quote unquote, although like you do other things obviously, and we'll get into that, you know, a bit more, but like kudos to you for that. That's really cool actually.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess I'm also curious to know what first sparked your interest in photography and videography. So like, do you do both, or are you like strictly as of right now a videographer?
So that's an interesting question.
Or you're still figuring it out?
Yeah. So what sparked my interest would be because I grew up in church, and when my brother left for college, I think it was 2017, 2018, there was no one really to do any of that stuff in church. So I watched like a lot of YouTube videos, honestly, on just the basics of how to set up equipment, how to increase the volume of audio. So that really sparked my interest just growing up in church. I started doing photography mainly in 2020. Then I tried video for the first time in 2021. Then I was like, wow, okay, I can do both. Then in 2023-4, I decided to focus a lot on video. Just to try to master my craft as much as possible. So like, honestly, if you were to ask me to choose between both, it would be tough, but I would lead more on video, but I can do both, if that makes sense.
Nice. Yeah, no, it definitely does. And I mean, they're kind of in the same sort of like creative art expression. So I love that. Okay, so obviously, Toronto is a very fast-paced and competitive city. Obviously, so my husband also has done photography, videography, and he's also a graphic designer. So it's kind of similar with you as well. And I've sort of seen like firsthand how I don't want to say difficult. Difficult's not really the word, but how challenging, let's put it that way, how challenging it can be to create your space, especially in a place like Toronto where there's a lot of creatives, there's a lot of photographers, videographers on every street. But I noticed that although you just came in 2022, you were able to very quickly actually start to gain a lot of traction here. And I thought that was very admirable. And that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to you and hear more about your story. But I'm curious as to how that happened. Like I said, you're a child of God, but I believe there's hard work behind that. It's not just luck. So
There is.
was it an intentional process or was it more of like an organic process? And you know what, let's start with that before I even ask the second half of that question. Like, how
Hmm.
were there any intentional steps that you took to establishing yourself as a creative in Toronto?
Yeah, so I would say it's a mix of both. So before I came to Canada, I started doing a bit of research about the teams around the area where I live in. It's like I lived in North York when I came here, and I did some research. I knew that there was York University as a school. I knew there was also a professional football team called York United. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I'll be going to church also, just like 5-10 minutes away. So I already had plans, like researched and saw that okay, there are themes and there are things I can do in like in this creative industry should I shouldn't lack when it comes to doing anything creative there. So it was, but obviously there's some things that just came up. Like I didn't plan to do some of the things like in the church creative space that just happened like all of a sudden.
Wow.
So I'd say it's a mix of both.
Interesting. Okay. So doing your research, I like that. I
Hmm.
like the idea of finding out more about the place that you're coming to so that when you're not really coming in blind. And I think
Yeah.
that also speaks to the research that you did even in choosing between Canada and the US. And if I may say so
Hmm.
myself, I think you made the right choice.
Thank you.
Especially
Thank
with
you.
all that we're going through right now
Hmm.
with the two different countries. So kudos to
Yeah.
you for making the right choice.
Thank you.
And I guess the second half of that question, I know you said, okay, so you did research, and especially when it comes to the church space, it just sort of happened. So maybe let's
Hmm.
focus on the York University space first. So for that soccer team, was it a thing? And now I'm speaking more practically, but was it a thing that you like went up to the coach and you're like, I want to
Hmm.
videograph you guys? Or like, what did that
Hmm.
process look like in terms of
Hmm.
finding the right people that could get you what it is that you wanted?
Yeah, so just to start off with York University specifically, I had sent emails like prior to going there. I didn't get a response. So one day I just decided just to go. Like there was a game, and I was like, "Look, I have my portfolio right here. Can I come video this game, take pictures of this game, and I'm happy to share with you like what I capture." And they said yes, and that's pretty much where I started off with York University. And
Yeah.
from that's where I really did sports. Then there's a professional team called York United that also plays in that same stadium. With them, I applied through an email and I got in quite quickly because I had a portfolio based off working with York University just on a volunteer basis. So it wasn't anything paid.
Interesting. So when you say, because I know you said you sent an email, they didn't respond, and you
Yeah.
wanted to go there. So did you go? You actually went
I
to the
actually went there in
school,
person. Yeah,
and
there
you
was a
said,
game that day.
"Yeah, interesting. Okay, that's wow, that's bold. That's very bold." And I'm glad that it worked out. But I think for anyone who is listening to this, one key thing that Favor said is he had a portfolio, so he had proof of his
Hmm.
work. He didn't just show
Yeah.
up and say, take a chance on me. It was actually presenting to them that, oh, like this is the quality of my work. And also
Hmm.
giving them sort of like a return on them taking a chance on you, which is, I'm going to send you anything that I put together for free. And it was volunteering your time. And it kind of reminds me also of like my first experience getting into marketing. When I first moved to Toronto. Obviously, I went to school, but before then, I was actually working a marketing job. This it wasn't volunteer, but you could call it volunteer because it was paying me
Hmm.
$250 a month,
Okay. Hmm.
which is basically nothing in Canada. But it was also because
Yeah.
I wanted to build that experience in that field. And also, like what you did helped you to build experience, not in your field, but in Toronto, right? Like build that Canadian experience. So I really admire that. And I guess based off of that, were there any like hiccups you encountered in establishing your own space in Toronto?
Yeah. I wouldn't say there was a much of a hiccup.
Wow, you just had
But
it easy. Like, is this like grace or what?
I mean, it's a mix of both. Like I wouldn't say obviously there were some things that happened. Um, because in this industry it's quite populated, so you really have to do something to stand out to say that okay, you're not just a regular videographer. So I would say the fact that I can actually do both photo and video,
Yeah,
like sort of simultaneously, like at a sports event, is really essential.
yeah,
Um, because I worked for for academy called North Academy about 3 months in
yeah.
when I got to Canada. and I was doing a mix of photo, video, graphic designing, like website related stuff. So I was pretty much like a one-stop shop for them when it comes to anything social media related. So the fact that I could do both really set me apart from like my peers. So I would say that would be anything like I encountered that helped me.
Nice, nice. Okay, so based off of all the experiences that you've shared, and perhaps I imagine there's even more that you have
Mm-hmm.
not shared, what would you say is one project that you're especially proud of, and like why?
This will be a recent project. So I recently just came back from Trinidad and Tobago. So there was a competition called Character. So I call it the Caribbean, the Olympics of the Caribbean. So it's
Wow.
pretty much like a track and field event, but for under 20, under 18 age groups. So it's hosted in different countries every year. And I knew back in 2019 that it was coming to Trinidad and Tobago. So I'd planned already that, okay, 2025, I'm going to go back and I'm going to help shoot this. So this was the 52nd or 53rd year that they were doing character. And the feedback I got from like everyone there was like, this is the best character that's happened ever. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
And the response on the videos like I created, like they recaps were just astonishing. Honestly, like, I was surprised that everyone responded that way. Like people from Trinidad, people from in Canada as well were just like supportive of like the video and sharing it. Honestly, it took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting that feedback from everybody.
Yeah.
And I really was like, oh, wow, the way how everything just came together because I did video for the entire week, 3 days, and I made a lot of contact with our friends there. And honestly, that project, honestly, it makes me smile every day when I just watch like a quick snippet of the video I made. So I would say Character 2025 was one of my best projects that I will forever remember, honestly. Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank
First
you,
of all, that's pretty
thank you.
awesome. That's a great achievement. So, what I'm hearing from you is we have the actual Olympics next.
Hey, maybe the World Cup is
Maybe.
coming to Canada to next year, so maybe you never
Really?
know.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's gonna be in America, Mexico, and Canada. Yeah,
And this might just
yeah,
be directions
yeah.
for that. But no, congratulations. That's so awesome. Okay, so let's get into the businessy stuff.
Hmm.
Would you consider yourself a business owner? Now, why I ask
Hmm.
that is because typically folks in the creative space, they might call themselves, I'm a creator, I'm a
Yeah.
creative, I'm artsy. But when you start to put business into it, they're like, not really. I just have creative
Uh-huh.
expression. Would
Yeah.
you consider yourself to be a business owner?
Yes, I would consider myself as a business owner because technically you can say that I have two businesses. Because what I focus on sports, I call it Olu Vision Media.
Mm-hmm.
So I post anything sports related or do anything sports related with that business. I also have something called Portraits by Olu when it comes. So for that, I do a lot of like events, church events, birthdays, corporate events, anything event really based, I do on that business. And what also on that page. So I would say, yeah, I see myself as a business owner.
Yeah, I think as long as you're delivering service and you're getting
Hmm.
paid for it, that's literally
Yeah,
the definition of a business. So you
yeah.
are a business owner. So I love that you
Uh-huh.
have that mindset. And
Hmm.
I guess that's also, so you mentioned you have Portraits by Olu, you have
Yeah.
Olu Vision Media. Do you have a regular 9 to 5 or are you like strictly a business owner? And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also done with school.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, so I have a couple part-time jobs that sort of sums up to be a 9 to 5. So I work for a creative agency and also a college called Seneca College. So those two keep me busy and also just doing what I do, Olu Vision Media, Portraits by Olu. I'm quite busy.
So I guess obviously, so you have the part-time jobs, you have
Hmm.
your own business, so you're like a solopreneur, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you didn't decide to do your stuff full time and that you are working for Seneca and obviously your
Hmm.
other part-time job? Was that like something that you intentionally decided to do, or you were just like the opportunities presented themselves?
I'll say the opportunity presented itself, honestly, but also planning. So
Yeah.
like eventually I would love to just solely work on Old Vision Media as my company full 9 to 5. But I believe that working in this creative agency or either Seneca gives me the experience that okay, later down the line that I have the experience of working with different people and with different atmospheres that will
Hmm.
help me like make better whatever I have to do when it comes to like perfecting my business and going full time in my business. So it is a sort of planning that goes into it.
Yeah, no, that's actually fact. I think one thing that I like to advise business owners, and I'm a business owner myself, like this is my,
Mhm.
I don't call it my 5 to 9, I call it my 24-hour, 7 days a week job
Yes.
because you end
Yeah.
up spending more
Yeah.
time actually working. But
Mhm.
I do have a 9 to 5 as well, which I did today.
Mhm.
But one thing that I've learned, even from like the 9 to 5 jobs that I've worked, is I've looked at how they've established systems because they're also businesses and they're owned by someone. They're also making profits. And so I've been able to implement, a lot of the things that I've learned working in my 9 to 5, soft skills and hard skills included, that have really helped me to be able to set up Motari Media, even as a business to business organization. And so I always encourage, folks who are just getting into running their businesses, that you actually profit a lot from
Mhm.
working a regular 9 to 5 because you see how a business runs, you see how they set up systems that help them to be successful. So, like, yeah, basically just echoing the same things that you said. I think that's such a great idea. And so,
Mhm.
I guess for people who are watching this who are also in that creative space, especially in Toronto, right? We've already established that Toronto is a very, very, very competitive space. Even for marketing, there's a marketer every street down. It's the truth. Even the program I took, there were a lot of people because like digital marketing is such a big thing right now. And I would say the same thing for photography and videography, right? I feel like it's always been a big thing, but it's even so much more big now, especially with a lot of businesses being established and taking on like photography and videography services. But even still, like almost every business and every person, it's not even just
Mhm.
businesses, it's like a business to business thing and also a business to consumer thing. So there's a great need for videography and photography and people wanting to capture things in time. But
Mhm.
I would say, like, for a creative who is in Toronto dealing with the challenges of standing out, to be
Mhm.
specific, standing out, finding clients, or not even going that far, like just honing their craft and being good at what they do. Because, kind of like you said, and like I've seen and witnessed as well, is your work is very good quality, and it really appears like you don't compromise on quality. So I guess for someone who's just starting out in that space, perhaps they're just graduating school from taking a program like that, or they're in that space where they're finally turning this hobby into more of a business, what advice would you give to them?
I'll say it starts off, to be honest, at the beginning. So having the love for what you do, I think just having the love for what you can do can take you really far. Because when
Mhm.
I started off doing photography, videography, I wasn't thinking of this as a business or anything. I was just thinking, okay, I love to capture moments. Let me do this. But
Yeah.
it brought me so much joy. So at first, I wasn't thinking of, okay, this can be like my 9 to 5 or my future job. Doing what you love can honestly take you so far. So I say once you have the love for it, it helps you massively because you may not love something and just go for it for the money, and that's a bad move right there. Love for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's gonna make it super easy, but it helps you massively. It's just sort of showing you work as well because it said that okay, you can also put more effort into it. Having a passion for what you do, honestly, it helps you massively to stand out because somebody who doesn't love photography may sort of like put half the effort into it.
Hmm.
The fact that you love it, it shows that even though when you're tired, you're up at 2 a.m. in the morning trying to edit something, like you still stay up to do it. Some
Yeah.
people will just give up at, I don't know, at the first try. So it takes multiple tries. The fact that you love it will keep you in the game much longer than somebody that just, okay, let me just do this for quick money here and there. So I would
Yeah.
say having the love for what you do can take you really far.
Nice, nice. I like that. Yeah, no, definitely. Passion is extremely important, especially in running a business. I can't tell you how many times I've thought to quit,
Mm-hmm.
but we're 2 years in because I really like what I do. And
Yay.
I think it just goes back to knowing why you're doing what you're doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you said, like if you are strictly doing it because of money, there's many other ways to make money.
Yeah, there is.
When the going gets tough, you're just
Yeah.
like, is this even worth it? Like, why am I even
Mm-hmm.
going through all of this stuff? And you will abandon it because there's no passion to keep you going, right?
Yeah.
And I want to prick you for one more advice. outside of being passionate. Yeah. Any other advice? What has kept you going?
I would say having a supportive system, for example, family, friends around you. Because there are times where you honestly are stressed.
Yeah.
Like you're probably close to depression, and having just that part of you that can keep you, and also even having a relationship with God, that can keep you for a while, for a long while, honestly. So I would say having a support system, having friends who maybe are also in the creative system, we didn't have to be, but just somebody you can just speak to, communicate with, can take you really far. I would say that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear actually. Having a
Yeah.
support system is so
Mm-hmm.
great. And like you said,
Yeah.
like they can be in the creative space, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have to be. But
Yeah.
having people that are cheering you on, that you can honestly speak to about the days where, you're feeling great, you can celebrate your wins, but also
Mm-hmm.
the days where it's just like, bruh, like what's the point of this? People from the
Yeah.
outside that remind you of, let me gas you up one and tell you like
Mm-hmm.
just how far you've come and how well you're
Yeah.
doing, but also it's like why you started this in the first place, and just having people that believe in you makes honestly the world of difference. I'm not even gonna lie. Like for me, my husband's like my biggest supporter, and even like days where I'm just like, can I really do this? And he's like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can. So,
You can.
no, I
Mm-hmm.
love that. And I guess kind of like a segue to that would be for you, obviously being in the creative space. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
obviously you have to grow in your skills, especially when it comes to like videography, photography. There's always new gadgets, there's always new editing programs, there's always new styles of doing stuff that's
Mm-hmm.
catching people's attention
Yeah.
or like standing out. Things are always evolving, progressing. There's always innovative ideas. How have you personally ensured that you keep growing, really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say attending the University of YouTube has really helped because the the
You know what? We
fact,
need a certificate at this point because, yeah.
yeah, honestly, YouTube can teach you so many things. Like it's honestly, it's unlimited. 'Cause I literally started off learning things through YouTube. I didn't go to school to learn photography or videography. Like I went to school more for event and media production. So that's like planning an event and the things you need for an event. For example, you may need like a floor plan. You need to go to site visit. YouTube has massively helped me. Also, just on scrolling through TikTok, social media, seeing like the trends, going on explore pages to see the trends
Yeah.
of what's happening. That has helped me to just to keep on elevating like my craft. Because I can see there's a massive difference. So, like when I started off in 22 in Canada, 25 right now, like people can tell there's a massive difference, like in my quality as well, and also storytelling.
Yeah.
So I'll say YouTube and social media has helped for sure.
Yeah, nice. I mean,
Yeah,
witness to that too. Like you
it's good.
really, your work is actually so good and so
Thank you.
amazing. So I kind of want to get into. I know we're coming close to time here, but I kind of want to get
Mm-hmm.
into the your systems as a business owner. So, for example, say someone wants to, well, the booking one is simple because it can just be a booking
Mm-hmm.
link. So let me ask it
Yeah.
very open and then you can
Okay.
answer it as you see fit. But
Mm-hmm.
what are some systems you can say that you've put in place to ensure that your business is running smoothly, even as you have like a part-time job and stuff that you do?
I'm not gonna cap. Like it
No,
is.
this be
It is
honest.
struggle. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Like it's something I struggle with honestly when it comes to the business part of it, just keeping up to date
Yeah.
with people and like responding as soon as possible. I would say one thing that's helped me is using my calendar. Like I've never opened my calendar app this much, like compared to other years.
Yeah.
So I would say just planning things out, and whenever like I receive like a request or a communication with anybody, I just jot it down on like on a notes app or on calendar.
Okay.
So I would say just writing things down helps you keep track of. For example, you may have a shoot, for example, next week Friday. Somebody messages you tomorrow and you may say yes to it and you're double booked. So the fact that you have it and you know something that you don't make that mistake, because that's honestly that's happened once or twice.
Yeah.
But that helps you a lot of times. So writing things down keeps everything in track.
Okay, I'm gonna put my marketing hat on.
Mm-hmm.
So what tool do you use for, like, do people use to book you?
There is no tool that's like out there just like true messages. It's something I'm looking into.
There's Square.
Um,
Square is free.
yeah, yeah. I've used something called Set More in the past.
Okay.
So I used that a lot when I was in the Caribbean. But as when I came to, I think I just stopped using it and
Okay.
just use like true messages and just put it on my calendar. But I am trying to explore more options where it's more seamless. So I'll check out Square
Okay,
as
this
well
is
and
the
see.
word of the Lord to you. Check out Square, because what you doing? So you can use Square, or you can use. You see how I sent you like the bookings on Gmail? You can use that as well. That one is more so like if you want to send something. No, actually, like you can create a link. That was what I was using
Mm-hmm.
for Motari Media. So it's
Okay.
free. You
Mm-hmm.
create a booking link through Gmail itself, and then people click on that link and they can see your available times on your calendar. And so it
Okay.
goes
Uh-huh.
directly to your calendar and saves you time.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I'll try it out. Yeah, I'll try it out for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, so there's that. There's so Square, regular Gmail. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's something called Pixie Set, but it's I feel like it's mostly used by
Yes, I
photographers.
speak to that as well.
Nice, nice. I don't know if you can do bookings on
You
there.
can. Yeah, you can.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Okay, this is one final question before we do our rapid fire session, which I'm quite excited about. So, this is more so for us, myself
Mm-hmm.
included,
Okay.
but reels and video content are everywhere now. We have a lot of small business owners and creators that are being pushed to level their video, their video game, not video game, but their
Yeah,
video
I got
game.
you.
You get what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
it's like everybody needs to be a videographer right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you're watching this and it's just not your thing, you can hire him.
You can. Please do.
But I would say for those of us who are just we're trying our very best,
Mm-hmm.
DIY this thing and learning to be videographers, quote unquote, or real creators.
Yeah.
What's one simple actionable tip that can take someone with zero video skills, that it can
Mm-hmm.
take their content from meh to wow, this is really good. Yeah.
I would say storytelling can set you apart for sure. Because it can be like a random video, but the fact that it tells you a story from like the beginning to the middle to the end, that stands out compared to any other thing for
Hmm.
me. I would say because you don't have to have expensive gear to know to tell a story. You can start off with your phone. You can tell a story from that. Just understanding, for example, when it comes to like how I shoot an event. So I start off with the outside, showing you where we are. There might be a sign on the doorway. There might be signature saying that okay, the event is towards this direction. Capturing that as the first shot is very important for me. Then going into any signage that's inside the building, people interacting with each other, and also getting like sound bites. For example, they might be saying welcome to so and so event. Adding all of that into like a video, for example, if it's like an event recap video, tells your story. Okay, it started off with this happened. You might show, for example, maybe there might be prize winning sections there. You show clips of people who win prizes, maybe write a text on the video, the name, who won what, and like the end of it, people laughing, smiling. The fact that you can tell a story from the beginning to end, even with your phone, can help you massively for sure.
What makes a good story? You're making me want to pack a can of
What
worms.
makes a
What
good
makes
story?
a good story? So, what I've heard, right? And I think storytelling is extremely important. Even in marketing, this is something that
Yeah.
we know. And I've also been learning how to tell a story, or how to tell stories with the work that I do, because stories sell more than just telling people to buy. Stories are something that people always remember. They might forget what the main thing was or like what happened, but like if
Yeah.
you tell them a story about your product, they will remember you and they will
Mm-hmm.
remember the product specifically because of that story. And I mean, not to put you on the spot, but what
Mm-hmm.
would you say, based on your experience with like watching, your work and also like other videographers and photographers? Because people even say you can tell stories with photos, even though it's just like a still picture. What makes a good story?
I would say what makes a good story is really emotions. So like if you can tell the emotions, like even as you said with photo, if you can show the emotion of somebody, for example, it's a track and field competition, you can capture the moment of when they shout and scream and say, "Okay, I won." That's telling the story. That's photo wise. Yeah, the emotion really tells the story because it you can write a really dry story without emotions, but when you add emotions to it, it gives the idea to humans that's watching the content, okay, they're happy. You
Yeah.
know, it's something made them happy, and you're telling the story of how that happened. Yeah, I would say emotions for sure. It's the best way to tell a story.
That's actually such a good tip. I
Thank you.
noted it down for myself.
That's good.
That's actually really good. I love that. I love that. Okay, so we're down to our rapid fire section. So rapid fire, basically, there's no explanation. It's just
Mm-hmm.
this or that, and maybe
Okay.
a name or not. But if you
Mm-hmm.
feel at any point in time that yeah, you want to expound a little more,
Yeah.
sure, I'll give you this
Okay.
one.
Gotcha.
Okay, so rapid fire question:
Mm-hmm.
Nikon, Canon, or Sony? You can only pick
Sony.
one for the rest of your.
Sony. Sony
Wow,
every day.
that's so quick.
Sony every day.
Okay, now I want to know why. I'm sorry. Give me in 2 sentences why Sony.
So I'm not gonna bash any other brand, but I started off with Canon. Canon is an amazing camera brand. You can do wonders with a camera.
Yeah.
I prefer Sony because just the flexibility and the part that it's a hybrid system. So I do hybrid stuff, photo and video.
Mm,
Plus, it's so easy to switch between photo and video, like in a split second with, like, for example, my Sony camera. So I have a Sony A7. It gives me the ability to switch between photo and video with just like a simple switch like this. And that saves you so much time. It saves you seconds, honestly, like in a moment, especially like in the sports industry, because you can't like pause a football game. So you really have to act quick. And also just Sony with the colors, the low light. Yeah, pretty much Sony all the way. Yeah.
I love that. I had a Sony camera. I like Sony
It's
as well.
good.
My husband is a
Good.
Canon guy.
No shade to them.
Okay, so a beginner friendly Sony camera for a photographer, videographer that's just starting out.
I would recommend a couple cameras. So there's a camera called the Sony ZV-E1. I believe it's about $899 new. You can probably get it used for about $600. That ZV-E1 or the Sony A6400. That's more of a video based camera, but the ZV-1 can do both photo and video quite well. It has 4K features too as well, so that's a good start of camera. So those two will massively help if you're like a beginner.
Nice. Your favorite photographer and your favorite videographer, you can only pick one person for each. And it can be one person that's both, but only one.
This is going to be hard.
And
I can't
every
remember
other
his name right now.
turn.
So I had a favorite photographer. He doesn't do sports. It's Peter McKinnon. He's a Canadian photographer here as well. Video wise, I don't have anyone that's like my favorite. I look up to a lot of people. The person that I can think of is someone who works like in the Premier League right now. So he works for a team called Aston Villa. I think his name is Luke Visuals. Yeah, that's his name on Instagram. So that's like one of like my goals I look up to. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, and we're coming up to our final rapid fire question. No, actually, no, there's two more.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Toronto or Trinidad and Tobago? You can only pick one. No, at this one, I don't want to hear explanation.
That's not.
Take your
You
time.
said no explanation. You said just one answer. That's it.
Let's
Okay.
hear the answer first, and I will choose if I want to hear
So-
the explanation.
Toronto.
Why?
Okay, because it's Toronto as well. Because like, coming from Trinidad and Tobago, so the population of Trinidad and Tobago in general is, I'm gonna say, about 1.5 million.
Yeah.
The city of Toronto itself is 1.5.
Yeah.
So that tells you a story of how massive like Ontario is. Toronto it has everything, honestly. It's literally like a mini Caribbean too as well, because there's a lot of Caribbean cultures that you can see. There's a lot of people I've met from the Caribbean as well as that's here, and also just like for me, because I work in the sports like and creative space.
Yeah.
Toronto is just the best place to be when it comes to like doing sport, because I can count on my hand. There's probably about 10 plus teams, maybe more than 10 actually, professional or also college teams in Toronto. So I'll have to give Toronto the win for this.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not a soccer person.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
supported Chelsea because my dad supported Chelsea. I still feel like I support Chelsea till tomorrow. I don't hear great things about Arsenal, so they don't really count.
Yeah.
But
They don't count.
if you had the opportunity to shoot any big, I don't even know what you call them, but like any big soccer team in the whole world
Yes.
next month, who would you
Yes.
pick?
Manchester United.
Mind you. Why?
Every day.
Why?
I'm a big Man U fan, and it's a dream of mine to just to shoot one of the games, because I've been a Manu fan probably since I'm gonna say 2014. So like it's not been long, but it's been a while.
That's like 11 years. That's long. That's over a decade.
Yeah, Manu just like it's my team. Honestly, like being a Manu fan itself is a struggle
Mm-hmm.
because of what we're going through. I'll not go
But
much
you
into
guys
it
are
right now.
not.
Oh, yeah, we're not really it right now. Just feels that. Yeah, so shooting a Manu game would be like the highlight for me. That's like my goal, like a long-term goal for sure.
Nice. Hopefully it's a winning game.
Hopefully it is, please. Hopefully, I don't want to.
If not, the win will be that they have you there. Okay, and I guess the final one, let me see here. Yeah, the final one. This is very unrelated, but I
Okay.
saw it on another podcast and I was like, yeah, I have to do this. Who is the most famous person on your phone? As in, you have their phone number.
This is actually funny. The most famous person I know is probably Samuel Machuku. I don't know if you call that music.
I'm trying to remember a song on the spot now.
Okay, give me
Say
some time.
that I love.
Yeah, there you go.
I love that.
I think he is. Yeah, he should be. Yeah.
Shout out
Yes.
to him, to the man.
Shout out to
there.
him. Shout out to the man them, exactly.
I love it. But anyways, we've come to the end. I just want to give you an opportunity. If there's any parting thoughts you want to give, no pressure. About anything at all. Maybe something you want us to know about you. Or actually, you know what it should be? How people can contact you if they want to access your services.
Beautiful. So I have a couple businesses on social media you can reach out to me by. So there's Olu Vision Media. So that's olu.vision.media. You can DM me. You can also email me. My email is oluphotography, tt@gmail.com. You can send me requests through email or also my other Instagram page called Portraits by Olu. So you can reach out to me if you just want to speak about content, you want advice. I'm open. I'm free to give any advice as best as I can. So that's I guess.
So am I
my
hearing that
comments.
you're offering free consultation services?
So I do, technically. I do.
I love that. Okay. And I'm going to put all of your contacts. So you guys don't have to remember this off the top of your head, but I'm going to put all of your contacts in the YouTube description. I'm still getting used to saying all of that. But I really appreciate you coming on. I have to say, you have the same effect as Pikayo. You guys make me feel very like comfortable and I love it. I don't know if it's the voice or the smile, but I'm so glad that you're here. And I feel this is also the first time I've done a successful rapid fire series. Like it was so easy to come up with the questions.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on Motari Media. I hope
it was my pleasure.
I'm able to continue supporting the work that you're doing. If there's any way that I can support, my DMs are open as well. But thank you so much for making out the time today.
But it was my pleasure, honestly. It was a pleasure.
And thank you everyone for watching this episode. Make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe, and you follow us both on social media. Until next time, see ya.
Bye-bye.